subscribe la je wala ni be dum na online film programme nyindo fo sart nyanto le ma warata fo sarto le mbam pour ye to keje ani to ikondo ani la email ol yo be dum dije ba
the fields were available. Okay, I'm a data person, so maybe I will use certain terms that if you need clarification on. The fields are available for you to enter that information, but whether it is a mandatory provision or not, I can't remember. But the fields were there for you to provide that information.
Ako bunda lubije le priyo kibaro ludundije bitu tembo hakilo butala le fokulo me ya lonko wajibo le pro enyanta kala le inaona dumbang wa abelari no nyame tembo aka hakilo butala le bari bunda lubije le ta kibaro dundila o bunda leto me ya lonko ete fongo kibaro le molti.
During those days, what kind of news does the Freedom newspaper broadcast?
Ojamanola Freedom newspaper ikamu kibar sifa le janjang
they've been broadcasting news on the current on the then government. I mean, they've been, to be honest, they've been very critical of the government, they've been very critical of the APRC party, but besides that, they broadcast any other news, especially about public servants.
Wotumo ikakibaro lumeni bondi na mansa kunda la karola mansakunda katilimbali alumenke ikafole hanufwe ka mansakunda doyao kama andu ikaw kukilule finansamba APRC patio kama wari APRC patio lebe mararola mi wotumo ikawala kul finalu fole ning ikaitandi yekulu menuke yo andu hana manda wala ikana kibaro lu findili le mayalo ka kibara fason jamalu ikawul bele findindi ila kibaro luto.
Will I be correct to say that the Freedom newspaper was quite critical of the APRC government?
Oh, ako fo nyimbe tilinga la banka pour ayafo ko Freedom newspaper mu kibar bunda me yalonko man aka APRC manza kundani aka kaja fi bakele.
Yes.
Ha.
Tell us about what happened with respect to the Freedom newspaper.
Silang afanye mole muna natanake kula mensa babuta Freedom newspaper kibar bundala.
So on this particular day, on May 23rd, 2006, I mean, we came to the office.
Akonye lumula mekaro tilmuani sabo 2006 inata office okono.
My then supervisor, I mean, just got into the internet and called my attention to sort of a broadcast on the web page of Freedom newspaper.
Nata udunta office okono drone where ate hakilo bulandi kafayon ko dinkira jube web page wolem eka kibaro lu findindi bunda menaje pour ase dinkira jube bang.
The statement was like I pandirim by to code, not exactly, but the information was that I pandirim by has stopped publishing Freedom newspaper and has pledged allegiance with my brother Ibu Jallo to join the APRC campaign. Below is the list of people who have been providing me information about the APRC government.
I menje safari je wolem nyinti nte pandirim bay nimba dino Ibu Jallo sayin tul fanalu silang mbenyi tandila ko nyeda matale sayin fele ndunta APRC patio kono ndun Freedom kibar kayto nyinta fintindila ndala kibaru lu fintindila koteke so anata dolu fanalu safije men yalon ko fanalu mum molleti men yalon ko idabe ko nyin kono.
So when I saw it, I was like, I laughed it off because I was like, no, I mean, just yesterday we were reading this paper and no, this can only be hacking.
Ako brayo karang ajeletale ako kadu kulun no mbenyin karang kanjang woto nyi sikeno nyaadi le woto be kala tere makubaleti.
Then honestly, I played it down. I never thought it was going to be taken up to the level they did.
Ako wotumo amamuta ku sangarati kadu amamuta nunko nyilbenyin ku sambalale hanfa itafuta tembe to tembo me yalonko ndidamen aka amamuta nuno tembo ku sangarati
from stating that pledge allegiance to the AP. Did they publish anything else?
Ningabota kafo ko rompa ayala kanoning ay elemandi kata APRC kang fo kuma do soron telefona yemen fo bang.
They published the names of all the subscribers, including their telephone numbers, their email address, and whatever address, I mean, residential or work address the person must have provided. All that information was on the page.
Saying amanna dangola ye molu tolu safe molu menia lonko ika freedom kibar kaito karang melu fanal ka kudindije wala melu ka subscribe ke kudindije yolu be tolu safe ila email address olu anin ila address ko tan woni e yalu be damen to anin kibar ko tan lu menia lonko wolle be dendi o mari yolu la italier mem be soton amunta yo kibarul be fintindi wo page tele wolum.
Did you see your name on that list?
Yes, I did.
How about your supervisor? Was his name also on that list?
No, he didn't subscribe.
Other
colleagues of mine, yes, were there.
Can you tell us the names of those colleagues?
One Fakeba Sise, a then lab technician.
Fakeba Sise womu lab technician lete.
Yoruba, a field worker then.
Yoruba womu do kulaleti menu kata kenol kono do kola kata ikafume field worker.
Both in Farafenya at the time.
Womu flow bebe Farafenya le nunde utumo.
Lamin Dabo, a then at Keneba, MRC Keneba, I mean.
Womu lamin bar bundu ko mukibar safilalti MRC la doku bundala nungu tumo membe Keneba.
Amela Kamara working with our HR department at Fajara.
Amela Kamara me ya lonko anin abe eldu ko la MRC la bundala membe Fajara.
One Lena Seka turn at HR then, MRC HR then.
Lena
as a HR I mean human resources department.
Akonto
Lena Seka.
Lena Seka wo mu dum kutoleti membe do ko la nun ila doku bunda la barbitun mola me alon ka doku karankanne wotumo ila doku lalla karola ka bunda me HR.
By and large, this is what I can remember about my colleagues.
Ako asenyin hakilo sibula no nyilile la akafunyo la doku nyoli ya menu fanal to bulandije.
So your name and the names of 5 other colleagues were published on this website.
Yes.
Ite irfan kunding wani mo kota ngoli ni meto fotang yal tol to kankula ni website or.
Did they state the reasons for publishing these names?
Fue dalilo fojera ban dalilo me asabu yin tol kankula bang.
Not anything besides the information I've given earlier that Pandirimbai had claimed to stop producing freedom newspaper and that he had pledged allegiance with his brother Ibu Jallo to join the APRC campaign.
Ngamanke nakibaro menfolum foloto kafoko ate Pandirimbai ana abadingo Ibu Jallo iteli yele matale sai iteli duntale APRC patiwo kono andu ite freedom kibar kaito la kulu fintindi la koteke ngamanke woti anitel e tolu menu fintindi wonya imanna fenfen koteke.
And how did you receive this news? What did you make of it? That Panderi had switched allegiance to the APRC and several names of his subscribers were published.
Ite nying kibaro ya jimuta nyadi le kafoko Pandirimbai silang ayala kanu nying aya yela mandile APRC le aning mo kotamolu ite woje nyadi le.
I didn't believe it. I mean my initial reaction then was that no, this page was hacked. The website was hacked.
Akamalala akokadu wotembo atilata munna nunta ikafume hacking wolem ka diaku ya dulu la kibar bundala la page lukono fero nyilna akate ye amira ko wotumo wole keta.
My reason being
akala dalilo munyinti nunu
and they very well knew that we were not informants, or if at least all of us were not informants.
Akokatu Pandirimbai yalo nako itelu manke moluti menka kibaro lu di dolula kako Pandiri yolo le kende ke itelu manke kibar dilati itelu mumoleti menka kibaro lu karando ngadanta wolto.
So your name and those of your colleagues were published as informers of the Freedom newspaper.
Mundaita kundingo ani mo kotangol ye menu altol mento kibar ya tandiko altol le molde menka kibaro di mo kotangol la.
Yes.
Ha.
Not only their informants, but those giving information about the APRC government on Freedom newspaper.
Amanka kwenye ndiko kibaro damandide bariko iteleka kibaro di freedom kibar kaitola menkata man sakunda nim bankola kibarol de ko itelle kawdi freedom kibar kaitola.
And at this time, the people that you had identified were all working for the MRC, correct?
Muna watola ite ni molmen beto sute teng wolbe o jamano la bebe do gola nung MRC le.
Yes, we were all working with MRC.
Ko ha itol bebe do gola nung MRC le utumo.
Did any of them have any affiliation with any political parties then?
Umol kono ani defan kunni kono fo mo so nda jelme alon ko ay chokinyolo so da political la karola bang.
I didn't know that.
Akama wolo utumo.
But in my case, no. I wasn't affiliated with any party.
Amantara politic party wo party to.
Can you tell us what happened afterwards?
So we were there. Then on Wednesday we worked normally. We went home. I mean, Wednesday we reported back to work.
Akoy bije wonya yela do ko tentendi anyama akufu arabalungu kotake imuruta na inata do kola.
This was the following day because it was on Tuesday 23rd. Then this was the following day, Wednesday 24th.
Ako karoti muani sabolo nyinkibaro lufintita talata lungu. Bitung arabalungu somanda karoti muani nani inata na do kola somanda koy dalta kala nyami.
So some security personnel, one of whom I recognized to be an NIA officer because he originated from Banya Kang. I knew him because they all did their primary schooling in Tujareng in those days.
Ako wo security natana mo be kono me ya lonka ateyo sutele katu wo yala primary karambunke Banya Kang karamuleto so wala na ateyo long biwol nata ayoje ayo mari sute.
And not only that, during my time at Farafenya, I used to spend a lot of time at the police quarters.
Akondo amanda wala watu memfana bedu ko la Farafenya akawati jamale ke polisol la dinkira nyinto polisol taradulato.
So I recognize them to be security personnel.
Akubira yeje dorong aya long ko nyilmu security leti wala men bedu ko la canton en tankadala.
They came through our station administrator then Bacham.
Ako inata doku bunda nyi memmarata doku lalla je ka fay Bacham inata wala kang.
And I was asked to come and answer.
Bitumole yate kumandi kayene danko.
And I was told that they had instructions. In fact, the guy that I mentioned that I recognized profusely apologized that, I mean, it was not his doing. He was acting under instructions that I should report to Farafenya police station.
Bitum nyilmanu nata te ngamen foko ngate mari sutele. Unata mbulo saikendeke ka aitandi nako nyimanken diante fangaye nangani yateng. Bari bitum yenteli kile. Amuntan telbo kila ria silo le kan wala fonye purunsa foye yete danku Farafenya police station.
How many officers came to arrest you?
Tanko bunda mol mo jelal nate no makay samba
3-4.
Ako bita mo saba famo nani fan.
What were they wearing?
They
were all in mufti.
Man uniform dum be ni feto fata kensa wal lemten bro.
You did mention that you recognized one among them. Do you know which security outfit he belonged to?
Ya fo janko mosron tay kono je yemen sute fo yalo na bora na tanko bunda fanna jumalto.
He was with the National Intelligence Agency, NIA.
Umari bedu ko la NIA.
The people that came to arrest you, were they armed?
Mol ben na tay no kam pour que samba fo joran tarte bulle bang.
Not visibly.
Joran hanna be bulle amam finti maje.
Were you the only one that was arrested then?
At
that point, the only person taken from MRC to Farafenya police station.
Did they tell you the reason for your arrest at that point?
No, they didn't.
What happened when you arrived at the police station?
When I arrived at the station, I found Fakeba Sise, my colleague, and Yoruba already detained behind the counter at the police station.
Do you know where they arrested Fakeba and Yorosise?
Fakeba and
Yoruba, sorry.
Yoruba, ya na ye mura mindola ba.
No, I don't, and I can't remember if we had a conversation about that.
Ako hakilo ma woje amalo ye mutadami andunga hakilo ma je fo aniyo fo nini o kachale.
But I know they were in Farafenye. Exactly where they were arrested, I don't know.
Ako bara alonde ulfanalo be Farafenye le nuwotumo bari ye mutadin kira memfango kilindo akama wolo.
When you arrived at the police station, did they tell you the reason for your arrest?
But ini for the police station no for ya for na dalilo me asabu ye murabang ke samba.
No, they didn't as well.
Ako hani imam fem fai fanam brief at the police station auto.
Did they have any conversation with you around with respect to why you were there in the first place?
Ini ye kacha so la bang kasuji ning ka fo ego dalilo me asabu ye samba je ba ini ye kacha so la bang.
They just asked me to join Fakeba and you're on the bench. Then after a couple of hours, they told me that they had instructions to go and search my residence.
Konyele dronko taye kafulin ma Fakeba ni yoro ibe sirin damen kata kaful ma ibe sirin siranjang menkang akata ta sijele ukola long inata kan ikayen ko ha yin kan fulan sotole de atebe bumu men kono inyanta tala jele kabuni visite.
Did they tell you where those instructions were coming from?
Ya fo en bang o kan woni abura min dole bang.
No, they didn't.
Hani imo fonyin.
Did they show you any warrant that they had to search your place?
We fe tan di le bang kay tan di ko se ye sembo so le loi la karole ka me warrant ko pour yete la dingirani ye wiste.
No.
Hani.
So what happened when you went with them?
So I went with them to my house. Then I was living with a colleague and a brother, Usman Bojang. So they asked me, it was a 3-bedroom apartment. They asked me where my bedroom was. I directed them in there.
Ako anita tanyola tumwe ngabiri futata bungoto katu tembo adam amanke kwa adam manne be bungokon. Bungolo me yalon ko labun kono sabale bije. Anin adoma le be bunyin kono je anin kafunyoma momundi na fansun labun kono bari ate be bungumen kono ate kela damin ay jele yitandila itata lungo bungule kono.
So they conducted a search in my bedroom. I had a lot of books, lots of papers. We went through almost everything. I mean, they were even going through page by page for it to, I mean, looking into some of the documents that I had for like maybe 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours.
Ako ibije biri duntaje kaitolo nim buko la ko katu buku jamale bate bunuje anin kaitolo bitum biri dunta bu kono wo kaitolo yewlu bele jibe kilim buko lu nyinu ako andu fang dolu bije yewlu lera kilin jubele pour nyin kamala be kibar nyinu men ako bita han fo montro wati kilin ninto fo montro wati fula nyon ye men ka bu kono je wotu mo birani duntaje.
Do you know what they were searching for?
Not exactly.
Hani wotembo malom fango ila sulo momenti ikamenyini.
Mike.
Did they tell you what they were searching for?
No.
Hani.
After 1 hour 30 minutes of searching, did they find anything?
You kabri vistire kata membita for montro wati killing for montro wati fula. For inarna fenjela.
They didn't see whatever they were looking for because we all left empty-handed.
Ekamenye ninde imaji katu birimbe bolaje mbebulu kolong le fanambotaje.
And you went back to the station, correct?
Yes, we went back to the station.
Did you remain at the Farafenye police station?
Come again?
Did you remain at the Farafenye police station?
Farafenye police station or inarna tugela banka sabati jeba.
We remained there for maybe a little while. Then they came and told us that they had instructions again that we needed to be transported to police headquarters at Banjul.
Na wati kijele de wati abara mawo mebake imruta nan kotake iko yenyi yamaro sotole pour nitel benyanta nala nyolale kataba nyunu police korla banyinto.
Who was in charge of the Farafenye police station at that time?
Farafenye police station.
I can't remember for certain, but it could have been one Dembo Jammeh. I knew he was there, but I'm not sure when.
Nyaton koti je wo tembo ako bari mo bijede e ka fo me Dembo Jammeh bitum fatel nyaton koti bang fo dole be nyato je bang akama lo bari nyin Dembo Jammeh to o bijele no tumo.
No, what I said was Dembo was the head of Farafenni police station at some time, but I'm not sure exactly whether during my arrest it was Dembo who was heading Farafenni or somebody else.
Ako wati sotonta Dembo le Farafenni police station o nyaton koti ako bari bi bate mutala wato men amanko ya mafu halimbi Dembo le nyaton koti je bang fa manke nyaton kota o manko ya mabake.
Can you tell us what happened when you arrived at the Banjul headquarters?
Silang afo mole bang biring ini fudata Banjul ku police korda baro munana na ke woro.
When we arrived at Banjul, we were taken to the office of one Mr. Sow, believed to be, I believe, was the crime management coordinator at the time.
Ako brief tabanyunu ye samba mole la office oto ikafume Mr. Sow. Ako alata ala nko utumo wole moti memmarata nyinkulu maranyala ikamenu kumandi ko ikukuru le ikafume crime management bunda nying Mr. Sow le bijenu CMC ako ya samba wole la office oto.
Did the CMC tell you the reason for your arrest?
CMC office o nyindo je brief raje fo woliya fo enda bandalilo me asabu ye murabang.
No, he didn't even talk to us directly.
Ako mahani diamu itel ye fang.
After some minutes, we were ushered in the office of one Malamin Sise, at the time the head of the major crime unit. I think he was an inspector, then a police inspector at the time.
Ako inata ibondu tole dundimo la office kono ikafume Malamin Sise. Ako mera umu inspector leti mutumo wole moti iko ala palaso munumileti.
He was the head of major crime.
Ako tumo ikafume major crime wole mnyin kukurumbalu wole mu bunda nyaton koti nu samba wole la office oto.
At this time it was you, Fakeba Sise and Yoruba.
Munda nyinta nyi waro la saing itela mu Fakeba Sise and Yoruba.
Yes, the three of us.
Ako iteli nyi mo sabole mu tumo.
What transpired at the office of the inspector, Malamin Sise?
Initially, when we entered the office, he was there with another officer that I only recall to be called Mane.
Ako ibedulle je tumo wenga ayoni officer do taraje bari hakilo seme mutano wala koto ka fo en Mane yole tara police wala officer.
Then later, more officers came in, one Lamin Cham, whom I have known personally, and another person whom I later came to know to be Boto Keta.
Ako kola mufula fanana tetraje do ikafa Lamin Cham ikafudo Boto Keta ulfanal nata dum ikanje ketara officer konoje.
Then Fakeba and Yoro were asked to be moved to another office. Then I remained with them.
So ngata fo Fakeba ni Yoro isiolu samba office do kono bitung ate damane nata tu office nyin kono ani molu ay menu foteng.
It was there that they told me that I was arrested I was arrested in connection with the Freedom newspaper.
Akoje ata faen ko ni muta dalilo men kan kibar kaito kunyaluti.
Then they asked if I knew anything about the paper, and I said yes.
Yeah,
because I subscribe to the paper and I read the news that they publish. They asked Panderimbai in person, and I said no.
Yeah,
as to if I did communicate with him, and again I answered in the negative. That if we had ever exchanged any like emails or so, and again I said no. Then asked me to give a statement as to that effect.
Ya fay otumo le ko isi kuma kango di membe safela ka fome statement ko la karola.
At this point, did they charge you with any offense?
For inatana tumirle kanabanka for yenyineke?
No, I wasn't.
Ako hani imam atumi.
Did they verify the information you gave them concerning your relationship with the paper?
Kibaro men dila fo inatana kibaro nyinka ka jaba kese woto ka korosi ka jibe ko sujini kibaro kibar kaito nyinna ba?
Not through any means that I know of.
Well, ya Kenya nyandi nyama mamfe.
Supersonic's money transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive
Aning abe mundoku fasonela aning aka mune tamande aka mune ke freedom kibar kaito la kuluto.
I did that, sign it, and give it to them.
Akayo ke aya sign aya dealer.
After handing over your statement to them, what happened?
Briye kuma kango dila fay pareda muna naranake.
I later realized that my colleagues Fakeba and Yoro did the same, but they, eventually by around 4 p.m., we were ushered into the holding cell at the police headquarters in Banjul to spend the night there.
Ako anata lonko Fakeba ni Yoro ul fanaliyo ku kilimuleke yo safer kilimuleke ako bari inataje ko ura Roma fangala ye bondi ye samba ke bulandi selo kono ikamulu mutadamin.
Were you told that you had the right to a lawyer at that point?
Wato la fo inata ne kibar le banka fo ko yenyan to sura le puru inin lawyer nyomo bang membe lole.
They didn't do that, and they didn't read any of our rights to us.
Was
your family aware of your arrest at this point?
Not through any formal channel.
And you were not charged with any offense at this point?
No.
Honey.
How did you feel being locked up in a cell without being charged with any offense and no one knows where you were?
Ite okuoje nyadile keta kebula selo kono tumalamba ne man tumirdengi kango da ka foye luati nya yenyine tunya luara karola andungi mammo fana ini mo fana mo mafo fana yenyineke.
I felt that my rights were being infringed upon.
I memuta do wala nyinti nyili ben to nyenkanne ibe na nyanto le tinyakan.
And felt so bad about it.
Andunga kitakuti mun kuyata nyebake.
But again, I think I must confess that I underrated the extent they wanted to go with this, because I downplayed it and thought that we were just going to be detained at Banjul after giving our statement and will be released the following day.
Akubare ayinyi mutalunko nyinte kala ku kolente atekela ku sangarati wala na ama ku kolende afamfe akwa malum nunko ko bina futala wotembeda to foke muta kaynati fo Banjul kabo farafe kana fo Banjul amanna da wala inate muta kane soron kaso kono selo kono akami ama mira nun kolbe futala woto kato ate mankolu nun afu folo dulata ama sangarandi nun wotumo.
So I wasn't infuriated at that point as I did later on, which we will get there.
Ako tembo akuyata bari diminna nin kamfa jawo manna dunga kono ko menna ta dunga kono nyato kuolu meta tumo menna.
Tell us what happened the following day.
Samo afonyi muna naranake.
So we spent the night there without them telling us anything, giving us food. In fact, the last time I ate was in the morning in Farafenye. Then the following morning,
ako yes huto laje wonyale imam fem foye akon dum imam domordila ibeje wonyale ye laje le fo somanda akon laban fan alabanta domoro menkela wala ay domoro menke Farafenye sate ko no somanda na manke oti imam domoro domo ina teti wala nyama ye lawo selo kono wala nyama fasomo.
then we were called out to Mr. Malamin's, Inspector Malamin Sise's office again. The three of us, I mean, myself, Fakeba, and Yoro.
Ako kote ke sumanda inate kumandi kate danku Inspector Malamin Sise la office tate fango Fakeba and Yoro.
And we are again informed that they got instructions again that we should be taken to the NI headquarters.
Ako between jeli nyumfa kote ke ko ibe telube sambala NIA la korda banyi neto.
And we were transported by one driver called Fode Kamara, whom I later came to know to be named Fode Kamara, was a driver who took us to the NI headquarters.
Ako menna te bondi police ke samba NIA la korda bato driver lum ikafume Fode Kamara. Ama olum wotumo de awotembo ama wolom ko kola longa nata long ko nyimu driver volti ikafume Fode Kamara wole bondi police ke samba NIA la kordato.
Upon arrival, we were taken to an office manned by one Bach Samba Sow.
Ako brief data NIA ye samba officer mento memmarata officer la ekafole Bach Samba Sow.
We will later come to know that the office was the investigations department, and it was simply called by them as Invest in Court.
Ako ko kola ibinalo na ko officer le marta kisikisi rola ni birin ko meri lom inata long wo officer ije to la menna ikafuje le invest wolem kisikisi ro bunda.
Ya Fatus Guest House, Ya Fatus Guest House. Dama ne jox leen ma seen noppa yéen ñi nga xam ne ni bëgg ngeen a dem Farafanya nag ñu bari den fay bëgg a dem di xalaat ndax am naa mbokk ak aw ma mbokk fan laay dem dëkk ak fan laa du dem dëkk seen coono jeex na seen xalaat jeex na te si biir Ya Fatus Guest.
Again, when we met him, he was so neatly dressed in suit that I thought he was an NIA officer, only to learn that he was a detainee when he was ushered in the cell with his visit suit. So I mean, it was something else. Yeah.
Ako wo Malik Mbub melne nata CDR la jang ako follow to fangata ya mira fomu NIA do kulalti katu dum fe nyima balle bala suto le bala dunding ako bari birina tata niwolu be itel niwo be mutake dundi selo kono ako otumola nata ni manke NIA uti nyim fana mumuta moleti me ya lonko abe NIA ulu bulu jang.
Prior to detaining us in the cells,
ako jangi be sambala selo kono.
We spent basically the whole day in that invest department, in an office in the invest section or the department, however you like it.
Akoye tino mumo be siwo officer le kono ka fudame invest akoye tuta siri ngele tino mumo be janni be sambala oselo kono.
Apart from Malik Mbub, did you meet anyone else that was detained in connection with the same issue?
Fo ale mo ko tan do tara jela ba me yalon ko fanam be mudo kono je andu ngala mudo ni chokita sujita menna wala mu yal fanam muda ko menna wala mu freedom news bala ko woti.
Yeah, I mean, yes, a lot of orders. But that particular time, Malik stood out because, as I said, the way he was dressed and I never thought he was going to be put into the cell with those things.
Ako natamo jamale natije jamade anin ay memu jiji ako bari mem na ko fintita bake wala keta Malik Mbubti mem folo yetara bun kono je ako ndum we feto fata kendol men dum fen kendol men bala be pareri nyamin wala nata yamira fon fana mu ena ewlti bari bri nata eni fana be dum di selo kono tumola nata long membe keri.
Can you recall roughly how many people you met detained at the NIA?
Inga kilo sa muda no le bang walro mo jelle be Morocco no nje NIA je wato la.
Not exactly number of people I met being detained, but number of people I was detained with, because I wasn't sure if besides Malik, if there was anybody else prior to our arrival.
Ako ye menu muta sefo no barbitum ate menu taramuto kono je ako kato asekeno ye dolu muta jannitel be futala je a tewlu lonna ko bari anim menu tarta nyokanje walla ko abuta wala kala ma wayre anolu ye nyolu be muta nyola je le tarta nyokanje.
It was when we were put in the cells that I knew I was with Pamodu Fall, who was working with the GRS at the time.
Ako biriye dundi selo kono utumolo anata dolu kalangolo melu beko Pamodu Fall me yalon ko utumo obedo ko la GRTS.
Mr. Sam Obi, who was a journalist.
Mr. Sam Obi, men fanamu journalist oti.
Mr. Musa Sharif, a journalist.
Mr. Musa Sharif, fanamu journalist oti.
Besides Fakeba and Yoro, Lamin Dabo too was brought in. That is the other MRC colleague of ours.
Akuna manke Yoro ni Fakeba ti inata Lamin Dabo fanan nati me yalonko doku nyole mu fananti member doku la MRC.
One Hariju who was working with Gamtel.
Anin mokile ka fay Hariju member doku la Gamtel.
One Wuraba, an internet cafe operator.
Ani wuraba me yalonko wakanyin internet cafe le tamandi mul kata kibar karamula cafe lu men kono.
One Babukar Sanyang, referred to as staff from Bartes, who had an internet, sort of an IT solution center, internet graphics design and all that.
Ani Babukar Sanyang me yalonko do kudla do fanambula fansun do kudla da me yalonka beko internet bunda le mujeti bari kibar tamandi bunda le muje fananti internet karola.
And a lady, something Dabo. The name is in my statement. I can't remember the name, but her surname is Dabo. I think she was working with Gamtel, though she wasn't detained in the cell, but she was detained in the conference room for that night.
Ako ani musukili men konto mu Dabo ta longo bedo ko la nu Gamtel la ko bari imaniolu imeni dundi sel kilin kono bari yo fana mutale bo conference center to je wulu suto ako fana be mol kono men ye mutawa ye nati je wulu.
That would be Hadi Dabo, correct?
Hadi Dabo, right.
Ako walam Hadi Dabo ti.
And another Gamtel staff, can't remember the name, but again, he's in my statement. If you read it out, I'll know. He's also from Gamtel, I believe.
Nin Gamtel do kula kotango me yalonko o tobe safari ngala kuma kangol tole safari ngulu statement o nyinto akubara nyinata o tolale bar ni amari to fo hakilo be bulala lale yo fana natije
Trrc Kamara, sorry.
Trrc Kamara, right.
Ako ha Trrc Kamara wala fango.
So you were at the NIA with these people?
Yes, in the cells with these people, but the total number that were arrested in connection to this, was more than that. I counted 27 of us. It could be more than that, but I counted 27.
Ako ha anim menu be selo kono wolda mantende ako bari dolu bijele menu fanal muta ako ate membe konti atata fo mu muang anu ngoro wula amunta wolun wala kata muluti menu muta.
I have a newspaper that was tendered through Malik Mbub.
Bar kato do bembulu jamme yalon ko ya dundi ni nani siyo wicho nyinkon andu ya dundi mento yala wala mu Malik Mbub.
It was tendered as Exhibit 63A.
Wala mi ya dundi lafa ya dafa la sede jarol kono andu ye number men diala wala 63A.
It's a point newspaper dated the 1st of June 2006.
Kibar kayit la mi ango point news wala kibar kayit wala andu ya safe lungo men wala dun karo tili follow the 2006.
On the paper.
Lera sabanya oto kayito nying newspaper nying.
It's an article by Reporters Without Borders.
As a wala nying kibar tala mi ango frontier hotela.
And the article is titled
Kibar kayito nying kumum menti.
Online newspaper hacked.
Wala kibar kayito men kabo online na internet bundal to ya mutal dunta kono le.
Editor smeared. Smeared.
Asaferla ya tokuya.
Subscribers threatened.
Menuka dunje yol fanansi landi.
The article alleged that the Freedom newspaper was hacked.
Freedom newspaper kibar bunda nyingi dunta konole.
And false declaration was made on behalf of the editors of the paper.
Inarana kibar bondi kibar bunda do ku bunda law molla ku inarana kibar bondi wala ko me an ko manke to nyati.
That is the declaration that they had joined forces with the APRC.
Wala nyindi ko yetumi ko kafuta APRC party omale.
The newspaper further went on to say that
newspaper nyin kibar kaito nyin tentenda ka fo haninka biko
that there was an announcement
kankularo dole nana sotoda
published on Daily Observer.
Kankularo ni meya janja wala Daily Observer kibar bundade.
which ordered all informers to report to the nearest police station.
Wala ni kibar gundani mem observer waya tandi ko kibar dilal be ye kango dila pour ye fay tandi police station ol men karatela.
Prior to your arrest, did you come across this publication?
Janni be arrest la janni be bulola le kan sedo fo ina na yin kibar kaydo ni ya jela ba
By the Daily Observer.
Walam Daily Observer kibar kaydo ni fo ya jel janni be bulola le te kamba.
Stating that all informers should report to the nearest police station.
Kibar Daily Observer kibar kaydo ni ay tandi ko kibar nyin kibar dilal be ye kango dila pour be momo ye itoje ye site fa itandi police station on sutiyatela.
I saw it, yes, but not prior to my detention because we were caught up in the heat of everything. We were among the first people to get arrested. So it was during my detention at the NIA, after when we were released from the cells and in light detention, that I read the paper.
Akaya jele bari amutarino kolalom bari jangiba amutala amajele akobiri ya amuta kolu be keri mtumo men nalong hanfo watu men non inatela muto ke dundiselo kono birin akoyo mfatatu mo men nalom inata nyin kibar kaito je utumo long atenata nyin kibar kaito fonselea.
And you've told us that the people you were arrested with and yourself were mere subscribers to this online paper. And you were not informers for the Freedom newspaper. When you were at the investigations department of the NIA, did they investigate this issue to find out whether you were actually part of it or not?
As I said earlier, when we arrived at the investigation department, we were just asked to sit the whole day basically until after 4 p.m. Then we were ushered into the cells.
Akukaya furu nyami briefly tawo officer to kafudame invest iye tinyandi siri njele wonyadu ron fokata talanna ni watu wokolalom inate bondije ye samba kate dundi selo kono.
They didn't tell us anything. I remember, I got infuriated and started, demanding answers as to why we were there.
Ako katu tumolem bilinko yo meoke kamfa dunta kono hanfo ayadamu takanyini nkaroke mune nyinko be sabu wo dalilu alaftole lomno wotumo lem wato men ye dundi selo kono urara mafangula.
And at that juncture, an operative by the name Kutabalde
ako mosoto itamembe do kola je utumo ikafaya Kutabalde
said to me that if you do not quieten up, we will kill you and bury you in the yard bag. Where they had a lot of banana trees. Banana plants. So she told me that if you don't quieten up, we will kill you and bury you under these banana plants because we have a lot of people that are buried there.
Ako tumole Kutabalde kayanko ni meida muta imede mbe fala le ngate kulloto bade nyim banana suto koma katu kabur jamale bije men yalonko nyolle fanye badeji.
That fired me even more. I had to be controlled and consoled by my co-detainees.
Ako nata kamfa fango dundi akono hanufo silang ajuso bota bitumbira ajuso bota yo kamfa menke wonya akofonyolu men yalonko ya ni mutanyola wolle nata kemolu tumenu dia mutaye ka faye ijuso nyabu ka juso nyabu puru asi kamfa nyi landi karala.
Then whilst in the cells,
ako watu mebe selo kono.
Sorry, let me ask a follow-up question before you proceed. Didn't that information scare you when Kutabalde told you that if you do not remain quiet, we will bury you under the banana trees?
Kibaro nyin Kutabalde yo memfoe fo kumaka nyin amesila mbanka foe ko ni me dei me falale ngate bade nyin balana kuro kono jang.
No, for two reasons.
Ako masila adundanila fulale yo sabu.
When I get so infuriated, so angry, I don't usually easily get scared.
Ako nata juso bota hanfa futata utembeda to kamfata fa juso bota ako kubukasi la kotake.
But most importantly, I thought it was just a bluff because I never thought the NIA could have been capable of doing such.
Ako fulanja wole nyintiko ayamira yulbetel silandi kanne kensen ke katwa manyimira ko NIA isi hanyi e puriyo kolu futandi woto kawai mutakafa wonya aka amanlanu wala.
Yes, I will admit that we've all been hearing rumors about torture killings that have been happening, in or by the NIA operatives.
Akoto yade imeta kibaru lumwelale me yalon ko lem nyintiko NIA do kulalu imeta molu tajire yale ka molu bute hanfo ka molu fa akoy ka mwele nunde.
But I must confess that I'm one person who had always been saying no to that. I thought no, that was just a spare campaign. It wasn't something possible.
Akobarate mumolete me yalon ko amalla nungo kumola fereng akafole nungo hani wakafole drum bari nyimolu te okenola kamalla nungo akumola utumo.
But after 4 months, 9 days in detention at NIA,
akobari brae karinani anintili kolon toke mutoko no NIA.
that was the time I realized that on the whole I didn't know much as to what has been happening in that institution.
Akotu molem kulu nata koya mako yo yarante malu mfango mune betama kan nyendoku bundala jang.
If it were today, yes, I would have been scared.
Ako natara bilu no tilolem nun. Ako tonya abesilalam nunde.
Can you describe the cell that over 27 of you were kept in?
Selo nying iyaltol maradamento membita fo momuang ani worowla fo isa selo nyin na lo alhalo ala lo nyanyi fo isa fo no mole ba.
Not 27 of us were kept in the cells. Overall, I said those who were arrested and invited to the NIA with respect to Freedom newspaper. Would be more, but I counted 27 in total. But the names that I have given earlier were the ones that were detained in the cells, unless I forgot 1 or 2 that I do not mention. Precisely, maybe 12 of us. And it was 2 cells.
And cell full along.
Not more than 1.5 meters by 2 meters.
Celo ni na romantambi meter kilinin tola alo aning meter fula afano.
Concrete floor, very rough.
Andung adumu atero mu concrete quality adung je man tembe freng.
With metal bar doors.
Andung bunda lumen bije an implantero lu ni ne wolle be poser nje.
Maybe 50 centimeters, 75 centimeters corridor.
Andung pereng ni fanang abitalan for centimeter talulu me yalon ko wala mu pereng ni na siloti.
Leading to a door that also leads to the main corridor of the investigations department.
Wo silo tata futa bunda le mabunda me yalon ko to fanan niya ile dunta je wole kata finti dinkrato me yalon ko nyin kisikisi bunda la office be wolto.
And that door was locked all the time that we were in, except if they want to come and do a head count or take somebody out for questioning or for nature's call or something else.
Andu bunda katara sorondine wato be foning isulata mola je ibina men fintindi la meya lon ko laftata la afan soto la bantoto wala ilaftana la purka konti mojel le bije.
You told us that throughout this period you were not given any food.
When
you arrived at the NIA, did they provide you with food?
Yes, in the evening they brought some bread. Was like half cent food with butter.
Yes,
that was it for the night.
Can you tell us what happened after you were locked up in the cell?
We We were in the cells thinking that maybe things would get resolved in the morning and will be released.
Akoy telbe men mira kan wala nyinti ko tumandol jallim fano be kala sumanda watu sikulu bono nyoto ukola isinei tolubula.
Then around 2-3 a.m. on the 26th of May 2006,
ako kabo talan fula kata talan sabakan suto du tala 2006 wo suto laje.
we had rattlings of the 2 doors leading to the cell.
Akoy bunda fulolu ma kama mwe sino men kana selo nyinto.
2 operatives came in,
Mo fula nata idunte kanje
asked for me.
ya tenyinka
When I identified myself,
braya fayita ndila
they opened the cell door and asked me to come up.
ye sel do yele ikaye finti.
The cell door,
Sel bunda nyin.
when I came out, I was flanked by 2, one in front of me and the other behind me, and they led me to the conference hall upstairs.
Akubira fundita sel bundala ya bula tema doba koma doba nyato ya samba ila bendula to conference center santo.
Upon arrival,
Brief na tawoto
I got into the room
adunta bungu nyin kono
and found a long conference desk
ay tabulu jango taraje nimmolu be bengo kala kare si tabulu façon men kunna
with lots of chairs
siran jamalu fanalu be tabulo nyim balaje
and people sitting in the chairs.
molu be siringo sirangulu kan.
There was an empty chair at the immediate end of the desk
Tabulo bandula mafango la sirang kolong kilim bije
where I was asked to sit.
e kaye si wo sirang kolongo kan.
Can you tell us the people that were seated around that desk?
wasira onying fo isa fo no nyam mojuma lele si tartan siring wasira wal kango.
Immediately I got in, I recognized Lamin Cham. As I said, I knew him personally prior to all that. That's Lamin Cham from the major crime unit.
Biradun taje Lamin Cham membota major crime bundala ayole folo sute katu mumolete ay mellon nun ko manto wala na biradun tabun kono ayoje doron ayole folo sute.
I remember recognizing Malamin Sise, the head of major crime, and Boto Keta, the ones I mentioned earlier.
Akwa hakilo yum fananje ko Malamin Sise bije memu nyaton koti major crime anim Boto Keta ayo fanan suteji.
Because I met them 2 days earlier at the Banjul Police Headquarters.
Ako katu tilifula komando numbriye na ti Banjul Police Headquarters ayo mo fulo lujejele.
I saw Lieutenant Musa Jame, alias Malia Mungu.
Akai Lieutenant Musa Jame fananji jele ikafume Malia Mungu.
I knew him since I was a kid because he did part of his schooling in Tujareng.
Akayo lon na kabringa dindimma katu wala karango doke Tujareng sate olto.
I will later come to know Mfali Jabang.
Ako na meta anata abina mo fanan lon na ba flame Mfali Jabang.
He was a warrant officer class 2.
Ako mo warrant officer class 2 makamo le do bulu tumo.
At the time, with the military intelligence at the State House.
Otumo abedo ko la sojaro la kullo kibar bunda nyina ikafome military intelligence State House la Karola.
And there was this man, gentleman, he was, I believe, the deputy director of NIA at the time, something Hydra.
Ako mo bije fanan ayamira wolemu director nolan koti NIA do ko bunda la Karola ikafome ye Hydra wolema konton bare amato hakilo ma to muta.
Can't remember his name because there were 3 Hydras. He was one. Another was Abdul Aziz Hydra, who was the deputy head of the investigation department, and Lamin Hydra, who was a year senior than me at Nusrat High School. But Lamin, I know him personally. Abdul Aziz, I know him personally. So this other Hydra, I believe, would have been the deputy director. I can't remember his first name.
Akonyin Haidara Lodi was a ken wolem director no lankote aka hakilo mauto muta. Akobari Lamin Haidara aning Haidara Sabanjango will be ayolu lonne katu anul tatanum karambu kilinto Nusrat High School.
These are the people I can remember as being part of the panelists.
Akonyilo moluti hakilo menu mutanun many alonko wolebe panelo toje.
In your statement, you also mentioned Noor Seka, the Director of Operations at the NIA.
That's true, an oversight on my side.
Are I think this would be a very convenient place to stop till after the break. Mr. Chairman, I just noticed that it's time for the break. So we can take a break now and resume later.
Thank you, Council, and thank you, Mr. Brojan. We will take a break and come back at 12 noon. Meetings adjourned. Thank you.
In the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland with Supersonics money transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonics money transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics money transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics. Supersonics money transfer is giving you an unbeatable
Gamsobis in focus with Khalil Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.